A wonderful love greeting to all of you here for a new tarot, a new oracle, love oracle. And today we pose the question to a person dear to your heart, a treasure, a desired partner. Why? Does he actually let himself be manipulated, influenced by other people or situations? We will take a look at that today, because you have the feeling somehow that yet influence from others, maybe you know that too, and we will tap into this energy in that area. Why does he let himself be manipulated, influenced? Which of course is not always to his advantage. Then it is more or to your connection has been or is. Okay, you go with me. They are collective. Person cards are gender neutral. This is your counterpart, both male and female. And a collective reading cannot apply to everyone. You take out what resonates. The situation, the events that are right for you and your situation. Okay? And now, once again, a very wonderful, loving hello to you, a very heartfelt love, hug. You are so fantastic. You are so magical, every single one of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Thank you. And this question we also have from the collective again. It was also asked here once. And you can always make suggestions for an indicator for the collective. Write in the comments. And I always thank you for your comments. Truly, this warmth, your gratitude, it is truly breathtaking. I find it so fantastic. And above all, this trust, this openness that you also have to write in the comments, even if you don't comment. I know you are there. And for that, I thank you. So, and now let's get started. Okay? So, let's take a look at what's going on. What do you or they have here? Problems, 4, topic, 8. The manipulation. Okay. So, I see it's coming, this energy. So, then let's take a look. If you two want to be together, then I'll also let it be together. Well, with your counterpart, we already have a big topic concerning the area, the environment, the material aspects. We have the finances very strongly present, but also that it's about soul connections here. I mean, well, we are all spiritually connected, but here regarding matters of love, we have movement. And there is also something being set in motion here. Yes, because this is about his or her inner self, about the deepest inner self. The deepest inner self is also here concerning the past. The past, the stability, there is a big topic. That is what he carries within himself. What occupies him? Well, then we have that one included as well. It actually fits perfectly with it. That is his inner home. That is also the home. I'm also going back into the past with it now. The home, there are issues that concern him. You know, we will get clarity. We will delve deeper into what is going on inside him. So a topic, but really that, yes, that it is always these material values as well, that he is also very secretive and he is always dependent on something here. But let's take a look at the dependency, because it definitely has to do with his inner self, his past, and also with his inner well-being. Somehow he definitely doesn't feel well. There is something ailing him. There is really something ailing him. And it's also about attachment, the firmness, the stability. Past, a very, very, very big topic. A rooting, there is also something here that is going on within him. And as I said, this has to do with a togetherness, with the context of security, stability. Maybe he missed that. He definitely retreats again and again. And oh yes, we also have this one that fell out, and we have this as a perfect addition. We definitely have manipulation here in a big way. This is a real blockbuster here. What is here with these entanglements? It could be another woman. I would say it doesn't always have to be a woman. You know, collective people, you know what's going on. No, but it could also be someone from the family. This is definitely about other people. The outside, where it is always manipulated or made dependent, definitely has to do with the material. He knows that, and maybe he is completely focused on that. And then, as I said, there are entanglements here. And it is also the case that we already see a bit of renewal here. This is definitely about a toxic environment. So that it can definitely also be his own toxic thoughts, and that he keeps looking for ways, avoiding communications. But ways are definitely being shown. Because maybe he doesn't want to get into this conflict. So, I'll put it this way, something is really bothering him here. Really, really, really bothering him. And as I said, it has to do with his past. And he keeps closing himself off because of it. It's actually like his inner collapse too. That he shows something different on the outside. Like this facade he presents to the outside world. And what he shows you outside, that's not him. That's not him. And fundamentally, he is in his inner self. Loyal. Truly loyal. But perhaps he cannot or is not faithful to his surroundings and the past, to these complications, these entanglements, always in these old patterns, always, again and again. He is loyal to that as well. But he also feels this loyalty. If we take loyalty again, we are in the energy towards you. He feels a sense of belonging, and he actually wants to have a sense of belonging. And that is what he completely lacks, what completely overwhelms him. And he is lonely. He's completely lonely. Loneliness is a very big issue here. And he really has a whole burden to bear for himself. And he always goes into isolation because he somehow cannot cross a radius, a boundary, or doesn't want to. I would say here rather that he tells himself he can't do it. But why he lets himself be manipulated? As I said, we have a rough idea of what this is about. We are now getting the details. This is definitely about an environment, about the past. The past, a big topic. I would say it really has to do with the family here. And something was really significant here. There was really something here where yes, yourself, like broken, I would say. I couldn't find another expression for it that broke him. Let's take a look now at what exactly it is. So, well, we definitely have the topic of the past. I'll tell you this as surely as I'm in church. And how far the whole thing here, it also fell out. Then I'll take it with me right away. With it. Yes, it clearly has to do with his environment. It has to do with the past, with his childhood. And as for childhood, I can't tell you the age right now. Today, we will also take a look at the time tendency again. In any case, it's about that he, in his childhood it could be youth. I'll just say childhood for now. But it could also have been youth, the past, definitely a longer past. And it's about that Imi always, when he did something wrong, this punishment, I feel coldness, it is very cool and cold. That doesn't mean that whenever I say something, it means it was 24/7 non-stop every second, but that it was a very significant part, that he felt it. He wasn't allowed to make any mistakes. If he made a mistake, got a bad grade, for example, just as an example, or at work, somehow received a bad evaluation or something during training, or got something in school. It could have even been in kindergarten. If there was something, he was punished. I also know that he was punished with disregard, that he was pushed away, not seen. It could also be that he was always a bit, how should I say, by the children, for instance, teased, something like that. And he always thought, oh God, what's going on here? But he always tried to do everything. So I'm just giving examples so you roughly know what I mean. That he then, because I also consider the material aspect a bit, so I also have groceries with me, so that's why I like to take sweets. There, brought something along. And here, look, where he gave away his snack or something, or his toy or whatever. Just this, hey, look, be my friend, something like that. And the issue with him is that he was always raised in such a way that even when he gives something, he only gets something if he does something well, then he gets something. But when it comes to love, I didn't really think about it. And then maybe the chocolate bar, the candy, or whatever it was taken. And then he briefly received some attention, only to be pushed aside again. Even within the family, in the domestic sphere, he was taken care of. Everything was fine, but he was always just the fifth wheel. That's how it was. And then he started. It was also from one or the other. Could be family, could have been friends. It was always like that. These feelings of guilt. Because of you, I couldn't, or because of you, it didn't work out, things like that. And he is completely stuck here in guilt, in these self-reproaches. He did something wrong. He's constantly trying to make amends. And that's where we are in the area where he lets himself be manipulated. Because he is always in the mindset of doing something wrong. He shows it differently on the outside, yes, but I'm also quite sure you've already sensed one thing or another with him. When you look into his eyes, or various reactions, like when he looked away, or how his head went down, or how the clarity of the eyes changed, or the tone of voice. You will have noticed that. Because I see you here, you've already thought about it, because you've noticed that something doesn't quite fit. And that, you've also seen at the moment that he is being manipulated. He allows himself to be manipulated. He doesn't fully stand by his opinion, perhaps. It's not always directly his opinion, it's the opinion of others. And in this case, he allows himself to be manipulated. It's always like this because he is in this state of atonement. He has to prove himself. He has to show what he's doing here. No matter how harshly someone treats him, he is always in this state of atonement. And you think to yourself, wait a minute, if someone treats me so extremely, I would tell them everything else, but not somehow give in again. But with him, it's like this, because he always has this, no, I can do it, and love me anyway. Okay, we are now in this area. Put in my own words. Like me. Like me, don't like me, love me anyway. Right? I do everything. Because I have him in this area here that he totally lacks confidence in himself. And especially when he says no, he gets the full brunt of it here. And he has already experienced that. And then again and again, I did it wrong now. So here I am really going way back. Because I also have him lying very hurt in this area. And always only this material aspect. When he showed feelings, something along the lines of, what kind of crybaby are you? And pull yourself together. Don't act like that, because it was always about the material here. And there was abundance, a lot, that others wanted. And he always tried to give everything to others. As I said, we are going far back into his past. And there is always this manipulation, always having to prove himself. Because he himself constantly doubts himself.
no matter, as I said, what he shows you. And basically, it is also the case that you are a very important part of his life, whether you are still in contact now or not. The important part is you. Because you have triggered feelings in him, and he knows that he has disappointed you. He knows it. And he is ashamed of it. So there is this remorse as well, even if he doesn't show it to you, even if he hasn't apologized. That's his inner self. But I'm not saying that he is constantly in this state of remorse. I mean, who is a runaway, as if straight out of a textbook? So I've seen him run away repeatedly, always under this pressure. That's also self-imposed pressure. He's always chasing after something, also after others, because others are somehow always better. And just always this belittling himself. He was always belittled. You're a failure. You can't do anything. That's how I always find it here. You do everything wrong. And as I said, always the punishment. Not like, hey, you did great. But always only when something happened, hey, you did it wrong. And then always the punishment again. And here it can also be the case if parents have separated. His parents, for example, if something happened there, that he then took on the role of the father or the mother in the end, for example, and he feels so responsible. And then also, even if someone has separated, it doesn't have to be a separation now. It's just one of the things shown among others. It could have been something else. But no matter what it was, he always blamed himself. And there's always this, taking the blame on himself. And others can also treat him really however they want. And he is being exploited. He is definitely being exploited. Especially his kindness to others. Now you say yes, but well, it shows you something completely different. Yes, of course, it shows you something completely different. He shows you another side where you might now think, yes, wait, if he has experienced so much, why is he sometimes so crappy to me? But it's because to him, he is like that to you. Because you give him something completely different and he can't handle it. It could also be that it was too much love, too much understanding, and so on. And that's where he can't handle it. He lets himself be manipulated, yes, because he always has this feeling, his inner self, that he must achieve this now, he must do this now. And he must not do anything wrong so that he is not pushed away. Because for him, this fear of loss is his past. As I said, it really seems to me that this was already present in his childhood, that he was pushed away or not always given attention. I also see him quite sad in his childhood. That doesn't mean that the Ano needed to be sad. I already mentioned it earlier. But there is always this. He allows himself to be manipulated, influenced, so that he is seen, so that he is not pushed away. And these are usually the people, it can be families, these are dominant people, dominance in the family. Well, those who can always present themselves very well, also his entire environment. And that's what he knows, and then you come along. And there is this warmth, and he can't handle it, but that's actually what he really wants. And it's really the case that you show him the home he has always been looking for. And he struggles and wavers in this area to embrace and allow it into this change. And we really have a lot of falseness with the game here, yes, and it still occupies a lot. For some of you, it might be that you have quite severe stomach problems, because I always have a bit of stomach problems there. Or also, if you say he drinks it, then sometimes you might think, okay, but it's the area because he simply doesn't know how to handle it. It's just not hearing anything anymore, not seeing anything anymore in that direction. How foggy it is for me. That's how I have him lying here now. But as I said, the past is a huge topic, and he keeps running away from it. He runs away. He runs away from disappointment, from being disappointed, from the others. So, and as I said, mentally you keep coming back to him. And God, there is this home. And we also have movement in this area concerning the home. You are his home. The retreat, as far as feelings are concerned. And basically it is like this. Such a stress factor because actually he only felt truly happy. Or was also happy, this connection. But they were only brief moments because the outside always came back. And it grabbed him, bam, and pulled him away again and again. Because as I said, it's always this, that he came back in this direction. The past kept catching up with him. But we also have very, very strong movement. The attraction to you. There was this was the calm, the familial, the calm, the love. And you engage them. As I said, especially engage in the connection. And if you currently have no contact, then you will regain contact. But it looks to me like it will start on a friendship basis. That's good. Don't despair, don't be sad if it starts on a friendship basis. Because this friendship basis provides stability. And the decision comes that more and more solutions will be found, which is also needed. And for the new beginning in love, in the connection, the deepening and the loyalty. Because as I said, no matter how long it has been between the two of you, it doesn't matter at all. Loyalty. When it comes to love, I have it here in double form, regarding the feelings and this search for home. And I say, you are home for him or for her. So, yes, and now we also have the new beginning, the change, the transformation here in double form. And there is really still this burden. And there are also many, many karmic entanglements that he or she has. Because it is his task, he has a task. Because in this case, he is the questioner. And that's why the reading is focused on him. It's about him. And this is his test, his task that he has. And he has to complete and work on it. And he is really in it. Because this is a learning task. These are also repeated tests, things like that. He tries to remain true to these principles as a whole again and again. But it is an incredible burden. And then also always associated with emotional pain. This burden. But the burden is indeed also here. The burden in change, in healing, in new beginnings. And now we have it here again, in change. And here is the beginning for the ending. It begins, it goes into growth, and it develops. Even if they are small steps, it doesn't matter at all. We have movement. Small steps again in connection with you. Even if he only repeats it in thoughts, memories, events with you, there we already have a very positive movement, even if you don't notice it, because there is no contact. He has you in his thoughts, and through what you have always given him, he gets more and more solutions, more and more into this movement, into the new beginning, into this path of happiness, because the path of happiness is completely here for me. The happiness in healing, in change, the tide is turning, and it also turns concerning the connection with you. And he is also occupied with it because you are in his thoughts. As I said, it doesn't matter whether you are in contact now or not. So from that point of view, we really have a lot of movement. A lot of movement and toward positive. And then the change is here again. What we also have here, truly instability, unstable change, permanently. It also remains that way. And there is also this togetherness. This is a solid foundation. And it is such that he or she can build on it and also wants to build on it. So, as I said, we really have it here for the long term. And again, for the longer period, we truly have this stability now as well. Often. Here. I mean, well, I say it takes a few months until everything is really, really, really stable. but there are minimal fluctuations, he definitely stays there. He definitely also stays in this change. And yes, that one now says, okay, he sits here completely. If we now take the time tendency that he is completely in this, that he realizes why he or she has allowed themselves to be manipulated here. I would say approximately 2 to 3 days is a bit too short for me. I would go for weeks, so that there really is movement, that there is real activity, real movement. So changes for sure. Now we have approximately the 3 again. Yes, so I would say I am now here at the 3. As I said, this could be 3 weeks, 3 months. But it could also be the 3rd of a month. And no, I don't see 1 day here. But it definitely looks very good. So I would say years are too close here, I think. So it's not 2 or 3 years or something like that, you know. So I am more in the weeks to months range. Well, 3 months isn't really the end of the world, you know. So within, okay? And you know you control the timing yourself. You always have it in your own hands. Shortening or extending, delaying, okay? I wish you all the best and a wonderfully beautiful rest of the day. Goodbye.